Whoa, we got some movement going on here. We got some movement going on here. So we're gonna talk about this spy. We're gonna talk about these stocks, and we got a lot of them. I was over here writing a whole thing about what I'm gonna explain today, so I can stay on track. Right, there's lots to talk about. Right, all we see is candles and stuff going up, stuff going down, but it's a story going on, right? When you draw the right levels, you're gonna start seeing that there's something happening. There's things that happen and it's normal. There's things that happen and it's not normal, and we call that abnormal, right? I got that from Mr. Jesse Livermore, one of the greatest stock traders ever. Right? I got his book somewhere. It's somewhere around here, but I got a bunch of books just laying around. Right? I got to get a bookshelf. This is a good one. If you guys haven't read this, The Way of the Superior Man. All right, so I'm gonna let a couple people come on in before I get straight to it. But yeah, hope you guys are ready because we're gonna be talking all about the SPY right now. All about why is this a special situation in the stock market, right? What is all of this craziness about, right? Why did we have such a huge move yesterday and then it's just nothing but chop today, right? But even though it was a bunch of chop, we was able to come away with some bread on two plays, one on SPY, one on QQQ. Still holding some QQQ right now. We entered at that demand zone right there on the bottom, right? So I try to help, right? Everybody say they want to be a trader, you know, which in my case, I think that they want to trade on their own. But I try to help people. So I'm gonna let you guys into the Discord. So this is my personal Discord right here. But this is, a usual chat room. I'm trying to get people to understand what is going on with the activity, the price action in the market. And I'm taking it a step further, right? I'm actually implementing some education where I'm helping people chart, right? Because that's the main thing that we need to learn how to do is how to chart. And I asked everyone if they could go ahead and chart this demand zone right here in QQQ, right? This one right here. And this was at 11:51. The price is going down, and I found this zone. And then at 12:17, well, you can notice there's no responses there, but you have the push going up, right? And I think that was 20%. I gotta check and see again. Let's see. That was 23% right there. Earlier we caught SPY for 50%, right? And still gotta run it up on that one too. So why am I even taking calls? Why am I even taking trades in what looks like chop? Right? And how am I even so confident to even call it out for other people? Right? And this is what we're gonna find out today. You kind of already seen the reason for QQQ with that little demand zone, but we're gonna talk more about the story. So this is why we're all here, right? We want to know what is the context, what is this special thing that you're talking about, right? Now I got a whole list. I'm gonna go through it, but first things first, we're just gonna start with QQQ because it's up on our screen and we see this nice move up and a bunch of ranging activity broke out to the downside of that range and came back inside of it. So that's part of the whole story, right? We're gonna keep that into consideration, right? But if we're not overcomplicating this simply looks like a bull flag, right? Because we drew these lines, trend lines, at the previous highs, and then we drew the trend line at these lows. What I actually did was just duplicate this. Oops. I just right click or double click duplicate, and then I just dragged it on down. So it's literally the same exact line, and I just dragged it right there, and it happened to give me some trades, and it gave me um more of a reference for understanding if price is bullish or bearish based on how it reacts to this line, right? So with that being said, right? Hmm. I want to come back to this part. This is a very interesting aspect of this story, right? Because if I'm just looking at this is a bull flag, this is an uptrend, and we should be continuing to go up if it's an uptrend, right? But we tried multiple times, came down, and we went up, but we got smacked on down, right? We came to the bottom of this line, this bull flag, and what should happen is we bounce at the line and go back up to there, and then we break out and have, a nice good old time. But that's not what happened, right? And then also you got to look at the length of time, or even the length of distance of this flag compared to this pole, right? Usually when you see nice poles, long ones, you'll see, or even a regular pole, you'll just see a short flag. Maybe it stops right about here, and then you'll get an answer. Breakout to the upside, breakout to the downside, either or. In this case, you actually got twice as much time in that range, right? So that gives us that whole, it brings us back to the saying, the longer the consolidation, the bigger the breakout, right? So that's one aspect to write down, right? The longer the consolidation, the bigger the breakout, right? What breakout are we expecting? Well, if we know that this is a bull flag, then this should be the flag here, and then the breakout comes from that flag, right? So understand, a easy way to get a measurement for how far we should break out is this pole, the length of this pole. I'll be generous and start it from here rather than here. So I'm gonna say 430 up to 485, which is 55 points. So I would start from this area, right? I'll just give a rough estimate of about, let's say 470. 470 plus 55 will put us up about 525, right? So that's a large range. Now, if you think about it, who's pushing up the price that far? How is the price going to get that far when everyone is in fear? Everyone is, in some sort of uncertainty, da 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 da. And especially when we already went up a lot farther. So we're gonna zoom out, right? We're zooming out, and we could see. Well, this is a crazy chart because I have so much lines on, but this has been a long time we've been going up. Long time we've been going up. Now, I'm gonna actually switch this drawing up and just give you guys some clarity. Let's just save. Nope, not gonna save it. I'm gonna create a new drawing. Come on. All right, we're gonna create new drawing set. This one is gonna be labeled special. All right. So from the weekly time frame, you could see we had this nice uptrend, and then we had this deep pullback. This is yeah, it is a deep pullback for this wave. But if you're looking at this entire wave, this is, it's nothing. But where did it pull back to? This 50 EMA, which is a very powerful level, is also upholding this higher low, right? And we had an insane push straight up, and then we took a nice dive down. Now, if we're looking at this, we could also see that this top here is a high, this is a lower high, right? So that is bearish. Now, when things are bearish, you expect things to create lower lows because it's lower highs. Now, honestly, I think this is a setup. I feel like it doesn't look natural to me for a bear market, for a bear trend, downtrend. And just with how strong everything is on the bull side, I think we still have more upside. Now, I'm going to get into some of the reasons exactly why I want to support that idea. All right. So we already talked about the chop in the market, right? All this chop is preparing for a big move. All right, let me check in on what's happening. All right, so we're still slightly pushing up. I believe that was a new high of day. Yep, new high of day on SPY. All right, so I do just want to keep an eye on some positions because this is live. This is live. Let me see how much we are up on QQQ. We already called out the 23%. So let me just check in. We grabbed the 474 calls for 86 cents, and it just, well, I see it now at 157. So that's almost 100% gain, right? So we're going to put 95 there. We're just going to update the chat real quick. QQQ up 95%. And we already took one profit off. So this is take profit 2. And we have one runner left. And we're just going to hit enter. And the other chat room. And there you go. So that's that. Just like that. One runner left. So yeah, this is the live update you guys are getting. Right there. Timestamps. You guys are getting you know what? Let's actually put another picture. I like the pictures. Because when you look back at this, it gives you a good idea of how this trade actually looked. So you can study, compare your charts. All I gotta do is just copy. And all I gotta do is just paste. All right, we're gonna get back into the SPY and the overall market. All right, you're gonna see what's happening here. We got some more reasons. I gotta say, it's a very interesting sentiment, right? A lot of us has been in fear from a lot of this movement to the downside, but a lot of us are still hopeful that we have more room to run. So this is like a gray area, and you could see it in the price action, right? With the ups and the downs. Now, this is the daily chart. This 50 EMA is usually a nice solid line where you could say, hey, are we bullish or bearish? Now, we've been bullish, then bearish, and then bullish, and then bearish. So it's been confusing everybody, right? But that's the whole, I guess, point of the phase that we've been in. And being that this is happening on a bigger time frame, like the daily, just shows you that we have a big breakout coming in some direction. And I already know what direction I feel like you're gonna move. Now, the last week I seen there was a low volume push. No, it was this week. Very interesting. So this is where we're gonna get into some technicals, right? A low volume push to the upside. Now, it was one of these days. I'm going to go to the 15-minute chart. If you understand volume, it should push, volume should get higher as the price pushes in its direction. When it's pulling back, you should have lower volume. So it was one day where we went up. Okay, yep. So this is Friday. So we're going to zoom in. All right, we're going to zoom in here. And we have the push going down. You see how high this volume is compared to the previous day, right? Strong move going down, right? And volume is going to be a whole factor at why this is a special situation. So it's not because it's not making sense. But then when you look at a bigger picture, it makes sense. So this volume coming down, the price coming down with the volume to support it shows you, okay, we're in a real bear trend, downtrend. Now the move after, okay, this is a pullback. This is lower volume. Makes sense. Cool. So we should be reversing somewhere, anywhere in this area, maybe right here, right? Because that's a supply. And we could actually draw that to help make it more visual. And we'll just use that red box. And we'll use that high there. All right, so using the volume, look, notice is getting lower. So this is telling us, hey, even if this move up is an uptrend, the volume isn't really supporting it, right? It's not really telling us that it's pushing. And with all this chop, if it was a strong uptrend, then I would expect a straighter move up, not as much chop. So all of this is still supporting beer, right? The downtrend. And then you get to this point, and we finally get to the supply zone. And look what happened. Bow. We made money on this move, made money on this move in the futures. Now, it's what happened here. This is where the story changed. This is what gave away just this, I mean, I wouldn't know what to say. The tricks, right? The ultimate answer to all of this chop. Now I'm gonna draw something, right? It's a demand zone, but it's technically from this high of this candle, right? We can all see that that is a high. It's a resistance, and I'm gonna draw a zone, just seeing okay here, here. That's where we use as support. So bow. Now, if you've seen this move coming down, you already know this is a area of interest, which already showed you it's holding that support multiple times. And all you had to do is just wait for that nice little hammer candle right there, and you would have been good money for this entire move here, right? Honestly, it got confusing in this area, but if you're just using the moving averages, then this would have helped you tremendously, right? Even on the 5 minute, you will see that the 9 EMA has given you the best guidance in the world with this move, because every time it tried to go below, the candle couldn't close under it and it just bounced up, 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 right? All day I scalped this in futures. I didn't know it was going to continue pushing, but I knew where it was going to bounce. And that bounce would have given me a good 10, 20, 30%. And I'm good with that. Take your money, keep it moving, get back in if it happens again. Rinse and repeat, right? So this is showing you obviously a very strong trend from yesterday. But let's zoom out. Let's zoom out. Let's go back to where were we? The 15 minute, right? We was on the 15 minute. So once we see, this is the make it or break it for the bears, right? Why? Because this is such a strong move down, right? Very strong move down. And if you're a bear, if you're taking shorts, puts, anything, if you feel comfortable putting your stop loss up here in this area, right? Because if it gets past this area, you're like, hey, I'm wrong, right? So notice there's a lot of stop orders above this price. What stop orders? Most likely buy orders, because if you're shorting, which is betting on the price to go down, then you would have to um, use your stop loss to get out, which would be a buy order. Why a buy order? Because you sold in order to try to make money on the way down with the intention of buying back low. But now you got to buy back high to get out of your position. And when you buy back along with other shorters who were wrong on their play, they have to buy as well. So my whole thing, well, that's why you're seeing this huge move up, because it's a lot of stop loss orders that are being hit because they believe that the price was going to continue going down for all the reasons and conditions that I explained earlier, right? Now, this is interesting because of the intensity of the move and the length of the move without any pullbacks. And we're like, how did this happen? And this is how it happened, because all of these stop losses are fueling this move, right? There's stubborn people who's like, "Oh, I ain't gonna get out. I ain't gonna get out, right? It's gonna just drop." And they're sticking in until maybe this area, man, and then maybe around here they finally hit their pain point and then they're out. Or maybe they don't get out and they blow their account, and by default their broker exits them out the trade, and then they have to get out. So this is I don't you don't have to know the reasons of every single person why they got out, but just understand where the stop loss orders are, and that this is happening. This move is a result of a lot of people being wrong. And the thing about these type of moves is that they're very powerful, right? This is where we're going to get into another factor of this special situation, is the surprise, right? The surprise of it, right? Now there's a reversal that, and usual reversals are, they reverse. But when the reversal happens and it's a surprise, when everyone thinks it's going to go one way and then it actually moves the opposite way, it's actually more fear, it's more euphoria, it's a lot of more emotion that goes into these moves. And we know, the stock market is an emotional game, right? It's emotional, you know it's emotional energy in the form of price and candles, right? So we have a lot of momentum, we have a lot of energy, and it's a lot stored up, and we're ready to burst. That's what I'm pretty much saying. But it's not just to say that we're ready to go up, it's to understand the significance of the moment. And when you understand the reasons why things are happening, it gives you more power, right? Because you get to be able to move along with the ups and downs and stay confident because you know more details than just, oh, the market's going up, right? So let's see what else we have here. I have a target for you guys, but I'm gonna save that till the end. Probably go for a couple more minutes and see if anybody has any questions. Right? If you guys got any questions, just drop that. Just drop that in the channel. Okay, we got Nicole in the building. He says, "Thank you. The pictures are helpful to study." Let's go. All right, cool. The Love King is in the building. What's going on? Hey, just realized you are live. Quick clarification question you posted in the chat for the call. 86, is that the final take profit number when you post like that, or is that both reference and exit? Let's see. The final take profit number. So I have a TP1, TP2, and this is on QQQ. And I believe I said one runner left. Let me make sure. So this one, QQQ is a question. Yep, 86 cents. That's the one. Up 23%. TP1, TP2, and one runner left. So it's not the final one. We just have we do have one left in case the market would like to keep on pushing, right? So 3 contracts is really good to use. Obviously, everyone doesn't have the ability to grab 3 contracts, but the goal is to build the account until you do, right? Let's see what's going on in the family. All right, cool. Someone says, I see a bull candle. So this is the reason why you want to be able to leave runners, because yeah, you made your good profit, but at the same time, if things are working, stay, put a little, leave a little something on, because that little bit of something could maybe be bigger than the money you just made on your most of your contracts, right? Especially with options, and how when options move in its direction and is working, it actually accelerates the profit. And that's what makes options a lot different than other tools, like just regular buying shares of the stock or trading forex or trading crypto. Like, options actually go parabolic in their premium. Like, you would think, okay, every time you go up a dollar, okay, I made $1 or I made $100 and it's even. But as the trade works for you, you make even more. Okay, you made $100 for $1 move, but now you're gonna make $200 for the $1 move, and then maybe $300 for the next. So that's how options work. If you're right, you get paid even more. It amplifies, right? So just a small amount of money could do a lot, and that's why a lot of people are are attracted to the options because you could do a lot with a little bit, and when you get good at it, right, and you are able to replicate those same returns or similar returns with big amounts of money, man, like almost makes no sense how much money you can make from this. So that is just the power of one, technical analysis, two, trading, and then three, trading options. Right. So with this SPY, you could trade this in futures, forex, whatever you want to trade, right? But the story is the same in all of them, right? This is, man, it's a lot. And then this move here came from this gap fill, well, a gap fill attempt. So this was another big reason why bears was so confident, especially in this area. You can see that there's a gap here, right there. This I learned this from Alexandria B, right? Wall Street been black. She taught me that a gap itself is a form of a demand zone because it showed you it's an intense move. It's a lot of buyers who pushed this up and had a nice move up. So even though there's nothing there, you could draw something in there, right? Nice box. Now that box happens to be what gave us this insane move yesterday, right? So that's that. So let me see if I forgot anything on the list, and then I'm gonna give you guys a target. I'm gonna give you guys a target. DS says this is great information. Appreciate you. The Love King says, where do I find the information on the entry price? I've caught a play, but I was wrong on the wrong strike. Dyslexia at its finest, but I was just trying to answer a little better so I can follow. And TP points when you post a chart. So where do I find the information on the entry price? So entry price, when you say information on the entry price, what do you mean? Information on the entry price. I'm trying to help you out. But information is right here. It's the entry price, 86. And then it's and TP points. So I'm not gonna, I am creating a Discord handbook so that everyone in the Discord could follow the instructions for calling out the plays, the entries and exits a little bit better, right? So just knowing that you should have 3 contracts is a big form of clarity because some people they really don't know. They don't know when how much to take profit, off of their trade. So yeah. Last thing we're gonna talk about is the target on SPY, right? Now, we went over this in class yesterday with my mentorship group, and I'm gonna share a brief example with you. Let's stick to QQQ and see if we get the target on point here, and then we'll go to SPY and tell you what's going on. So we can see on this daily chart, this is something called a pullback measured move, right? Measured move, that's what it's called. Measured move. I add pullback to it because I'm using a pullback to measure the move up, right? The goal is to know how far should we travel up. So this is the high, this is 503, and this low here is 423. So that is 80. That's 80. Dang. It's 80 points. So just add that 80 points on top of this. So that would be 580, right? 580. Now we could try to confirm that with other means. Let's see, we got 485 there. We got let's just round out to 450. So it'll be like 35 plus that. So 535. Let me see. This should be 20. 520, I believe. Yep. 520. So we got 520 is one target and then 580 as another target. So notice these are some big targets. Notice you got higher lows, right? And this lower high, I feel like honestly should have been higher if this is a true downtrend. So I just feel like this is a high that a lot of people took prematurely as confirmation for downtrend and most likely paying for it because the market could simply create a higher low from this one and break through this high, sending us even higher, right? You can see the volume there to confirm this momentum going up, right? So we're early in this move, and that's why I say another situation is that we're early, right? This is a significant time because timing matters, right? At the bottom of these moves is when you have the best risk, you have the most momentum, um, and you have a lot of follow through. When you get to the top of the moves, after thing has already ran up, after everything, the price is tired, you don't know if it's gonna go further. That's when things get tricky, but that's when people start getting more confident, right? When it should be the opposite, right? So you want to be confident because you understand where we are, right? You want to be confident because you understand technical analysis. And you only get that by learning. You only get that by subscribing to my YouTube channel, right? Watching these videos and my Instagram, right? So still in QQQ, still in SPY. I got something in futures. So it's funny because I didn't place any trades yesterday. Didn't place any trades. I think the day before, I did take a L on Nvidia Monday. That's when they caught us with the and it shouldn't have been an L. Honestly, I was no. I wasn't up. It actually did. It was an honest L. It was an honest one. It went right down to the moving average. I mean, sorry, below it. Grabbed some puts, thought it was going to continue going down and reversed. Right. So this is when I was even caught up on the downside, right? I was caught up on the downside, and that's what I realized. This is a very interesting moment, right? When the price should be going down, but then you don't, that's showing you bullish pressure, right? So it's up to us to be able to recognize that early. Now notice AMD is at this 1550 EMA, right? This is the 15-minute, and we'd have a double bottom, maybe triple, and we're above this 90 EMA. Volume is decent. Can't really say it's increasing, but you know that pretty much almost everything in the market is pushing up. You got QQQ pushing up. And yeah. So on SPY, we're gonna give you guys that quick target really quick before we head out. All good, all good. The love. All right. So you said never mind. Just realized that was a contract for tomorrow. So if I'm leaving a contract, I might let it run. It could be to the end of the day, and I'll close it if it's depending on the situation, or I might let it run till tomorrow. I like to stay with the flow, so I don't. Some things I'm very hard and strict on, but I still stay loose enough to be able to flow with the price because you can see things is moving up and down, up and down. This is where the skills of a trader really comes into play because there's an analyst, right? And then there's a trader. Two totally different things, right? There's like the coach, and then there's the basketball player. There's two separate things, right? You as coach, you good. You could call out the plays. You read the game, and you're good at analyzing, right? Trading, you're the athlete. You got to be good at executing. So trading, to be your own trader, you got to be both. You got to be the coach and the player, analyze and execute. But most people get really good at analyzing, and then the executing is the toughest part because that's something that you got to deal with your emotions. And you can execute, but maybe it's not consistent. And that's because your emotions are always changing, and you got to know how to ride those waves and put the foot down on yourself, right? Which is a developed skill. Everyone is able to do it, but it does take work. All right, so we're gonna just give a nice little target on the spot. Same thing we did with the QQQ 565. Let's see this measure move pull back down to 510. That's 55. 55 plus 565. Let's see if we can get that. That's 40. No, it's 35 plus 20. 620. There you go. So we're just adding this here to the top there. All right. That's all I got, guys. That's all I got. Appreciate everyone for coming through. Appreciate everyone for coming through. This was a random one. I know in the middle of the afternoon, but try to do some more lives, get everybody in some of this action that's going on here. Kava is going down. PLTR is going down. But when I say it's going down, it could just be pulling back, right? These are very bullish setups, right? Kava's been on my the watch list almost every day. Some people making money off of it. Some people they're not making a move on it, but it's moving. It's doing its thing. So let's check in with the SPY and QQQ. What do we do? Right? What do we do next? What do we do next? Well, what you want to do is go to your higher time frame and see what's the next stop. Right? If you want to train, if you want to bus, right? And you go past your stop, right? What you gonna do? Just gonna sit there on the train, right? Nah, you're gonna look at the map, see where's the next stop, how could I get to where I need to go, right? So that's what we got to do with these charts. Go to the higher time frame, see what's the next stop. Next stop technically is 560 and some change. You could say 560.81. All right, so could wake up in the morning and see 560 in your face. Now, if you want to see more details, go to the 4-hour, right? I'm gonna go down. Notice we are above that 90 EMA, by the way. So that tells you we have support from the EMA and momentum to the upside. Now, any of these previous supports technically could be a level where we could stop at, but we're keeping it very general. We're just sticking to the highs right now. And the next one on the 4-hour, notice we are inside of this candle. 557, 558 is right there. This is a previous zone, so we should be on the lookout for anything. But if we're not trying to complicate things, just look at the high, 561. It could close, stop at the close or the open, 560.74, or maybe this previous little support here, 560.4. But all this is in the 560 area. Notice there's nothing in the way to stop the price from moving up, unless you see something maybe previously in this action here. This is a strong level here because the price couldn't close under it. That's 559. So 559 to 560, that's what I will look at for the trend to reverse. And until price gets there, then I'm bullish. Wayne is in the building. What's going on, man? Do you have a stop loss in place when you enter a trade, Can? Nah, man. No stop loss. Risky, man. Risky guy. Now I watch it. So I don't need a place to stop. When do I ever place a stop? I don't know. I think if I'm like up crazy and I don't want to look at the chart, then I'll put a trailing stop. Like in a situation like now, if I want to go do something, then I'll put a trailing stop for maybe a couple of cents. Trailing stop. So it will continue going, but if it goes down maybe like 50 cents, then it'll take me out the trade. So it could go all the way to like 560 and then it gets to 559.50 and it'll take me out. Yeah, I don't really like stops as much, especially with options, because the price could be sitting there, right? And your option premium will go down, right? Because the volume may be decreasing, maybe time is passing by, right? Maybe you entered when it was high volume and the volume is naturally going down. Now, the volume is very important because that's what affects your option premium. And the whole thing is that if you set a stop on your option premium, that could go down while the price is still in the same spot. Now, I'm trading the stock price, right? I'm trading the stock price. So I'm using the price and the levels of the price, stock price, as areas for stop losses and entries. I'm not using the option premium. So we gotta understand that's two different worlds. We're using both, but I'm gonna make sure my decision making comes off of what I'm actually studying, what I'm actually trading. What I'm actually trading is the stock itself. So people they'll put stop losses on the option 30% down, but they'll still be right on the trade because the price never moved past their stop loss on the chart. All right. So just got to be aware of that. Um, I'm more hyper focused, so I don't mind watching the chart. I could do this all day, right? It does burn me out to a degree, but on some days. But when I first start, it is like a muscle. When I first started, I couldn't look at this for maybe 2 hours, and then maybe 6 hours I was able to do it, and then all day I would do it, but then I would feel, drained. And then now, after years, I'll be here all day, 9 to 4, and feel good. You know, like literally intensely studying the price. So that's just my talents, I would say my gifts, um, and that's how I use it. Right, I like to use it to study the price so I could get better and teach you guys what I'm seeing. All right, so let's see. Without a stop, how do you protect your capital? Protect, protect. That's an interesting word, right? Protect. Um, but let's see. I would say how do you manage risk, right, without a stop loss? The first one is your own ability to exit the trade, right? I think that's the first one. Most people they need a stop loss because they're unable to consistently exit the trade themselves, right? They see it's going down, but they're like not able to hit that button. So with me, the whole goal was for me to master my mind and be able to push the button when I need to push the button and not rely on automatic as something external to make the decision for me. It's a great tool to use. At the same time, it does inhibit growth, emotional growth, and that the skills of a trader, like I was saying, right? Most people just want to make money, which is cool. But you gotta understand that being a trader, a really, really good trader, it requires something else. At the same time, when you become that really, really good trader, you're making money by default, right? So that's just what I focus on. So I know, the question is okay about managing risk. The biggest form of risk management, right, is how much money you put up on the trade, right? Because there's people that said, "Oh man, I lost. I'm down 50%. I'm down 30%, whatever the case is, right?" What is 50% of $10, right? $5. If you was down $5, how would you feel? Would you be tripping? Would you be anxious? Right? Most likely not, because it's $5. But if it was 500, $5,000, then most likely you would be a lot more anxious, right? So how much money you're putting up on the trade is the biggest form of risk management. And that is what gives me an advantage, because I like to play relatively small. Um, and especially with options, it's something that we have to remember, that this is an advantage of what options offer us, right? The amount of money you put up, right, is the maximum amount of money you could lose, right? So what does that mean? Is that you could put up $50 and that is all you would lose. So literally, if your risk is $50, your risk amount, right? Let's say if you have a $1,000 account, $10,000 account. If you put up, if you manage, I was say, if you do all your calculations beforehand and you say this is how much I'm going to risk per trade, that means that if you buy a 50-cent option, right, an option that costs 50 cents for one contract, then you could lose 100% of that, and you're still following great risk management because you calculated your $50 beforehand and said this is what is right. So that is I would say it's a secret, but I feel like it's something that people forget. Like, use options to your advantage. I get it with futures. With any other thing, you definitely have to make sure it don't go down 100. I mean, unless you willing to bet the whole thing. So like I said, the biggest form of risk management is how much you put up, right? Especially with options. So Wayne says, I think sometimes the price can drop really quickly, as I'm not currently trading full time, and that's why I have stop losses. Um, yeah, it could drop quickly. Um, at the same time, another reason why I don't have stop losses is my confidence in the trades that I choose, and that only comes from a lot of the work and experience. And yeah, I would definitely say it's good to have a stop loss if you still developing, you know, your way, right? So like I said, I'm very much on the extreme end of the spectrum, right? So like where I'm at now. So to I wouldn't compare what I'm doing to say, hey, this is what you should be doing on every single thing. But just know that the only way I'm able to do is that all the stuff I'm able to do now is because of more than 6 years of like intense work of just studying the price. And I know the price. I know how price moves. And honestly, I never really used stop losses, and I got killed for it a lot of times, right? So I wouldn't recommend anyone else who's actually, you know, trying to build an account to do the same thing I did, because I blew a lot of accounts, to learn this stuff. I didn't have to, but I feel like I did have to as part of my journey of mastery, because if you do the paper trading route, it's pros and cons, right? You do learn the technicals. At the same time, you don't get the full emotional experience. So you're not, if you're trying to get the psychology right, it's a different ball game. So with me, um, yeah, it's a whole story. But let's get back to Wayne. So Wayne says it's a great point. It's about how much you put up. And so I totally hear you. Yeah, how much you put up, you're gonna realize that is gonna be the difference maker to everything, because how much you put up is gonna tell you, is gonna determine how much emotions is gonna be involved in your trades. And you're gonna I don't know how far you are in your journey, but usually, the emotions is what helps. It's not helps, but it distracts us from making the right decisions. So if we could find that sweet spot where our position size isn't too little but not too much, then we could be balanced and make balanced decisions, right? Because anxiety is real. It's gonna happen because we're trading in uncertainty. No one knows what's gonna happen. All we're doing is trading probabilities, right? Um, but the better you get at reading probabilities and then weighing probabilities and how to apply it, then you just, get more relaxed, less anxious, and trading just becomes just like a normal thing like driving, right? Wayne says, how long did it take to become a profitable trader? It took me a long time. At least 5 years, I'll say. Um, but like I said, don't compare me to um it's not that I'm not the normal guy, I'm not the normal trader. I'm very much on the extreme end. This is a journey for mass. Before I even started this, the only reason why I agreed to even commit to this is to be the best, right? Just that's just my nature. I don't want to do something if I can't be a champion at it, right? That's just the athlete in me, right? I ran track high school and college, D1, New York City champion in high school. So it just, I don't know, it's just in me, my nature. Like whatever I want to do is just, just kill it. So I could have, been decent. I could have settled for decent, settled for mediocre trading. Um, you know, but it was more of a journey between me and God, right? I had a talk, and being a champion, I know what the journey is to become a champion, right? And it doesn't look good, right? It's painful. Um, I gotta just Muhammad Ali's this quote. He said that he hated every minute of his training, but he loved doing it because he knew that's what he had to do in order to become a champion. So to it was a painful journey. Like people say, oh, 5 years, whatever the case is. But um when you look at the end result, and you're gonna be wondering how, like, this is crazy. Like, how was he able to do this? Well, it's literally all the work, And I follow Kobe, Mama mentality, and all that stuff. Um, it's true. There is great players, but then there's the player, right? There's a lot of great 3-point shooters, but then there's Steph Curry, right? And you could watch Steph Curry play a game and you could see that he's different. He's put in more work, he's put in more practice, and you could see it. It's not like you have to guess, right? So that's why I say you don't have to go my route. You could learn trading. You could be profitable in, I would say, 6 months. That's a good average there. 6 months to a year, because you got to learn it and then you got to apply it, go through your mistakes, do your fine tuning, um, actually be consistent, and then know that you've done enough to say you're a consistent trader, right? And that is going to take at least 6 months to a year, right? You can't just skip stuff. When you skip stuff, then there's no shortcuts. When you skip stuff, know that there's going to be a result of you skipping that step, right? And that's why trading is so hard, because you have to fill in all like 10 out of 10 everything. You can't know how to manage your fear, but not how to manage your greed, right? Vice versa. Steph, my favorite player. Chef Curry, let's go. Let's go. Chef Curry as a trader. So that's a lot of threes, man. 3 points, home runs. That's like 100%. That's like 100% every trade. That's like Wheezy. Wheezy was doing pretty good. I think yeah, the family reunion. We out here, man. We representing Wheezy trades. I seen something. He did like 100% on every trade in the last few days. So yesterday, QQQ and Spy went over 1,000%. Telling you, yo, man, we got some nice traders up in here, man. Haitian Keys in the building, right? You can just check in and just see what everyone is doing. 69% on Snow today, right? Alexandria, she took the crown. Crazy trade on Nvidia. That thing went 3,000%. 3,000%. Right. She called it out in the chat, called it out, believe in her tab as well. But Nvidia about to break 3,000%. There you go. And she called it out for us in the chat room. So hope everyone is eating. Also AMD, that was a good one. But we could see Spy is pushing. AMD, not AMD, QQQ. It's more steady. QQQ is more of like the steady market compared to Spy. They both move in the same direction, but notice, okay, I'm kind of messing you guys up because this is the 5-minute and this is the 15-minute. So let me show you the 15 and how they compare. But I'm glad I got through most of my points. I think I got through all of the points on Spy. Now, this was another reason why I believe that we was going to have another run up, because you could see this as a pole, this as a flag. If we break out, we should have another nice move similar to the length of this pole, 540 up to about 555. That's 15 points. That's a lot. Let's see. I'm gonna start it like right here from 555. Another 15 points. That will put you to 570. That's all-time highs right there. All right. I think Fiddy called out Oracle pushing past all-time highs. So that's another thing. You got some stocks that's pushing from being in consolidation for a long time or being at the bottom, near support for a long time. So what this is telling me is that it's a fresh breakout, right? Fresh moves up. And as I'm telling you, it's a difference, right? It's a special situation because it's the freshness of things that gives you all of this momentum, right? The freshness, not the stale. You don't want the stale. I mean, you can still make money off the stale moves when everything is already ran up and this and that, but it's the fresh moves, right? That fresh bread from the bakery that everybody wants. All right, the Love King. Let me see. Yeah, Wheezy, then Alex, and then how to correlate QQQ and Q. Like I can follow SPX for the most part, but the price is so different with Nas. Let me see. Oh, okay. The futures NQ and QQQ. Honestly, don't really look at QQQ. I just trade it as if it was QQQ. Yeah, I don't look at NQ. I just hit the button on futures and I just trade QQQ because I don't know, the digits throw me off, man. It's like freaking 18,000 as the price, and I'm like, yeah, these are some big moves, and it's just way easier to just follow QQQ for me at least. Once I get maybe more into the futures, then I'll know the NQ moves, those prices a little bit better. Wayne says, "Do you answer the question? Did you answer the question I asked yesterday about why SPY was dropping because of CPI data?" Was the answer. Okay, so yeah, my question was what's the technical answer or the technical reason? So technical means on the chart, right? CPI is a fundamental thing happening outside the chart. So I was like, yeah, there's a bunch of reasons, there's not only one reason why the market went down, but um there's a clear technical reason, right? Clear technical reason. And I answered it after a while, but I'm gonna show you. Notice I'm not looking at the profit, guys. I'm following technical analysis. Notice I use this 90 EMA. It bounced, is holding. I already had the context for the move. I already, you know, just relax, right? If you practice and your management, you know how much money you will make in certain moves. It's not like it gets to the point where you just know. You don't have to think and scramble for every little move, right? But we're gonna go to 4 hour, or is it? Let me see. Let me see. It was I thought it was the 4 hour. Maybe it was the 1 hour. But we had the price move straight down. Okay, yep, right there. So this was a downtrend, 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 right? Got there. And price moved, was going up, right? It actually uses demand zone, right? Created a nice move up, and then I was telling everyone, yo, we're bearish. I think before market open, I told everyone because we didn't get to the line yet, but I said, hey, right below this could act as resistance, and big move down. Let me see. Oh no, that was Friday. It was so many moves down. It's just crazy. Let me see this one. I know there was a a supply zone that I could see there. I think I could just go to the watch list and just tell you guys, because the whole point was that I said the reason in the watch list and no one mentioned what I said. So it's like everyone wants to trade what they want to trade, and I don't know if anyone is looking at the watch list or even paying attention to what's happening, because it was an insane drop, very clean move, and I would expect people to catch it, but it seemed like no one even knew that I wrote any of this stuff. So the 4 hour shows 50 EMA is right above, right there. All right. So we could expect a reversal in this area. 15-minute shows uptrend. Be prepared for any direction because it's not an easy market to trade, which all of this actually manifested, right? Be prepared for any direction. Now look at the 4 hour and prior. This is why. Now I could see the price of the SPY, so I understand what's happening. I understand what's moving. What's moving. You guys like my distraction right now, but I still have to be aware, right? Notice is getting to this line. We're gonna check on QQQ. We're gonna call out the percentage. Let's see. So 464 is our strike. 228 That's the price we at now after 86. 165% on QQQ. You're gonna take profit. 165%. Oh, QQQ. Oops. Usually it doesn't take me that long. That's why I do it on my phone because my fingers move a lot faster. All right, guys. We got the little runner on SPY, but that's gonna be it today for the live. Appreciate you guys for coming through. And yeah, we got the online course. Right. I'm gonna drop that pretty soon. If you're in the mentorship, you're already getting that those recordings. But yeah, just letting you guys know, subscribe to the Instagram, Traded with Cam, show some love, like, comment, subscribe, and I catch y'all in the next one. Yeah, man, take a screenshot. Take a screenshot, man. Let me see what's going on so we could put some of that on the social media. Take a screenshot. I put it in the profits channel, the gains channel. I think Alexandria might have changed the name of it. It's hard to find. Yeah, I gotta talk to Alexandria and see if we could get that channel, or it's like a gains and lessons. It was something like that. But yeah. Oh, here we go. It's weird. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay, Marty Mar. I didn't even see this. Let's go. Appreciate you, bro. All right. So yeah, everyone, doing their thing in here. So if you guys got any screenshots, show some love, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Next mentorship, probably next year, middle of next year. Yeah, man. Appreciate you. All right, man. See y'all in the chat.